Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Jennifer Massey. I just wanted to do this video because I wanted to talk about saddle fitting. Now, this is not a video on how to fit a saddle. It's about saddle fitting and the problems that we go through as riders and how important it is to find a saddle that fits your horse. So, I can talk about this experience because I just experienced it. So after finding out how frustrating it was, I kind of wanted to make my own little video and just talk about what I went through and the experiences that I had witnessed, and maybe this will help someone else. So as you know, I am a pet whisperer. And I work with horses. I have a horse, and my ultimate goal with him is always comfort. He is 21 years old. He's a quarter horse. And overall, I always want to make sure he's comfortable in every way that I can. You know what I mean? Whether it's putting back sport boots on him or front sport boots, I really listen to how he feels. And so with the saddle, I did the same thing. So I currently ride English, and I have Pessoa. I actually like it, and the reason being is because it really didn't cost me that much. I believe, this saddle is $2,500, and let me tell you something, you can spend thousands and thousands of dollars, and there are some super, super nice saddles out there as well. But the thing I liked about the Pessoa is it had a gullet system, and I am able to interchange it. So it did come with the medium-sized gullet, and that does work for him, and I'm happy. But if I decide to get another horse down the line, I really don't have to change saddles at this point in time. I can actually just change the gullet, which is very nice. Now, not all saddles have that. I believe as we're coming into the current years, saddle makers are starting to do that more, but not everybody does. Most of the time, from what I've heard from other riders, is they will have a saddle that is fit for their horse. The tree is fit for their horse, and one of the saddle representatives will come down, take measurements, and they build this saddle, around this horse. And at times, the saddle costs like $7,000, and it'll only be meant for this horse. So when they get their next horse, it doesn't fit, or maybe they can sell it to somebody else, with a similar size horse's conformation, but that is not always the case. So, it does get tricky. So, like I said, I have the Pessoa, and, I enjoy it. It's not the most comfortable saddle, but for the price that I wanted to pay at the time, it works for me. So at this point in time, I decided, I'm like, you know what? I want to do something different. So I'm like, I want to try trail riding. Trail riding would be an awesome thing for me to do. My horse, he doesn't really like the ring work. He's more of a cowboy type of boy. He likes to be muddy. He likes to be dirty. And he's just, he's not very feminine. So he's originally a reining horse. So I figured, let's try the Western saddle. So me not knowing much about Western, I actually reached out to my Western friends and, asked them what would be the best brand to buy, what would be the best saddle to buy, where would you buy the saddle, and so forth. And everybody had, different comments. One's like, oh, you have to get a Wintec because, it's good in the sense where it's not leather, but it's cheap and it's good and it'll be great for what you want to do. Other people are like, oh, go see this saddle guy, he'll set you up and so forth. And other people are like, oh, go on eBay. Other people are like, oh, just go to the saddle shop. There was so much information there where I really I felt overwhelmed. So I wound up going to this one saddle guy. I tried on, I think, 2 saddles. And, he actually wound up coming down to check out the saddle. And, listen, everybody wants to make money. Everybody wants to sell you something. And unfortunately, it didn't fit my horse. Either it was too long Either it was too heavy, either it was pushing on his back, either it was, too high in the withers, either the skirt was too large. I mean, the problems were endless. And at some point in time, like, I started to get frustrated. I'm like, oh my goodness, like, am I ever gonna find something that's right for him? So I took a step back. I brought all those saddles back that I had tried, and I'm like, you know what, I really, I know I asked everybody questions, and that was great, but I'm like, I think I have to do my own research now. And I suggest, everybody does their own research. The reason being is because everybody has an opinion, and their opinions might not necessarily fit you or your ways of thinking or your, or what you want and so forth. So I did my own research, and through that research, I found out that the saddle has to fit the horse first, and obviously I have to come second. And then I can't tell you how many YouTube videos I watched about saddle fitting, how it's supposed to feel, how it's supposed to look. And, from that, I learned a lot. And then I came across one brand of saddles, which I wound up sticking with, which was the Circle Y Flex 2 saddle. Now, I'm not promoting Circle Y. I'm just, telling you why I wound up buying Circle Y. So I wound up buying Circle Y for my horse, and I'll tell you why. The reason being, it had a flex. The tree's not flexible, but the sides are flexible. So in the event of him having shoulder movements, he'll be able to flex. In the event of, just the sides of the saddle, not the tree necessarily, but it was flexible. Also, they had this flex material. And since my horse is older, he's 21, he does not have a sway back, so he doesn't have really a sway back, but I found that his conformation, as we get older, that's what happens with older horses. They start to lose a little bit of the conformation in their back. And I found that, putting a hard, rigid saddle on him that necessarily does not fit him or is going to cause pressure points in the back or pressure points in the front was either going to lead to a sore back, was going to lead to hair loss where he was going to wind up having white patches of hair, was going to lead to problems under saddle, was going to lead to more vet bills, was going to lead to a swollen back, you name it, it was going to lead to it, okay? So I really took that into consideration, and trust me, at times I was really sad about returning some of these saddles because, I loved them. I loved the way they looked. I loved the way they felt. I loved the way, when I sat and I was like, oh, this is for me, this is going to work. And then all of a sudden I put on my horse. I'm like, oh my God, this does not work. So I tried the Circle Y, like I said, and it was a fit. And the funny part is this is what I like about these saddles, is I was able to go on YouTube and research them. They had tons of videos. They had tons of people talking about them. They had tons of people showing their models. And the best part about these saddles, and this saddle for my horse, is it's the same tree every single time. They don't have different tree makers. They make their own trees for their saddles. And on top of it, I was able to narrow in by pictures that they actually put online whether my horse would need a narrow tree, a regular tree, a wide tree, or an extra wide tree. And I was able to look at the photos that they had put online and actually compare them to my horse's conformation and his wither size to get an idea, is this going to work or not? And on top of it, I wound up buying one used. It was great condition, and you can actually return it if for whatever reason it didn't work for you. And let me just tell you, so comfortable. It's like butter sitting in the seat. I am really, really satisfied with this choice. And I'm just so excited that I found something that works. And I'm not saying that Circle Y is for you. I'm not saying that. My whole point of creating this video is to just say that sometimes we have to pull ourselves back and we have to look at what is right for a horse. It's not always what's right for us. It's what's right for them, because they are our athletes, okay? They don't have a voice, And a lot of people don't understand when your horse starts acting up under saddle, it could be they're in pain, the saddle is pinching them, they're uncomfortable. There are so many reasons. I know my horse that when he's in pain, he's usually, ready to go for a trot. He's ready to go for a canter, whatever it is. But I know when he starts standing there and then all of a sudden I'm asking him to trot or I'm asking him to canter, he does this thing where he does a back step. I know there's something going on. There's something that's saying, hey, I'm in pain. Like I said, that's my horse. Maybe your horse starts like chewing and biting you when you're putting on the saddle. I don't know, but I'm just telling you, you could just tell when there is a problem. They are cranky. There's a change in attitude. There's a change in, the way they're acting. They're just biting. They're doing something. So you really have to pay attention to what you are experiencing. And take your time finding that saddle, because it will work out, but you just have to have a little patience. Any kind of, I gotta say, anything for my horse. I think at times I feel like it's not even just a saddle, like even brushes. I know you're gonna say brushes, really? I bought a set of brushes one time for my horse, and I found that he didn't even like them. Like one was too hard, one was too soft, one was just not cleaning. They're all different and they all have different personalities, and we have to take that into consideration when we are, finding things that work for them. So with that, I'm going to conclude this video. If you would like to come and, visit my website, it's www.jenniferlmastery.com. You can read my blog. I always try and at least do a video with a blog. So if you're not going to read it, you're at least going to listen to it. But come and visit me, schedule a session with your pet, and then email me a picture, and we'll go from there. All right, bye, guys. Have a great day.